What are your thoughts on the Myers Briggs Type Indicator? Well, the Myers Briggs Type Indicator, or the MBTI, is a self-reporting questionnaire which claims to be able to assign one of 16 personality types to every single individual human being on the planet. And of course, like all good pseudoscience, it supposedly offers insight into a person's psychological preferences. So you're either introversion or extroversion, sensing or intuition, thinking or feeling, judging or perceiving. Of course, there is ultimately no evidence for the false dichotomies into which the MBTI wants to categorize or classify all people on planet Earth. It relies on limited binaries. And it also relies on a fleeting pseudo-legitimacy by using Carl Jung's name and picking and choosing amongst the Jungian archetypes. Now, of course, Jung never meant his archetypes to be a personality test, so of course that rules out the supposed Jungian legitimacy element. Anyway, regardless of that, most people's personalities simply can't be classified into opposites. Personality traits are simply far too complex to be evaluated by a test with such immense limitations. No single person in the world is exclusively an extrovert. No person is exclusively an introvert. Even the data and results from the Myers Briggs test itself, as flawed as it is, shows that most people tend to score somewhere in the middle for any and every category. And don't for a moment think that this might give it legitimacy. It doesn't. Of course, another major problem with MBTI is that regardless of who you are, your results are always going to be flattering. Without exception, the test is going to tell you how wonderful you are. In reality, the test simply hasn't been designed to categorize human personality types, something which, mind you, is a psychological impossibility to begin with anyway, so there's that. The MBTI makes people feel good about themselves by telling them things that they would like to hear. I mean, the unscientific and arbitrary nature of the test is evident from the fact that research has shown time and time again that as many as half of the people who take the test get a completely different result when they take it a second time. The reality is that our answers to the test questions may actually differ from day to day, and that will depend on differing factors, and one of those factors being the mood that we happen to be in. So, and our personality certainly doesn't change with our mood. So ultimately, no psychologist worth their salt will ever use the MBTI, nor recognize its authority in any way. So if you are using it as a recruitment tool or as a tool to determine whether team members are compatible to work together, or even as a communication tool to start discussions on different personalities within your department or your company, stop it. Because it's pigeonholing people, and it's pigeonholing people with no scientific basis. And that's dangerous. So my opinion on the MBTI is the same as my opinion on DISC, and the same as my opinion on all of these other personality or psychosomatic tests, or whatever they're calling them nowadays, is that it's pseudoscientific nonsense with no basis in science. I mean, you knew that anyway before you asked that question.